So we're finally getting around to doing our Who in the Heck Are We video. We initially put doing this video off because I did a little research before we started our YouTube channel and basically discovered that nobody really cares who you are until you have a few followers or a few subscribers, and then they
which we do now.
Which we do now.
Yeah.
So we thought it's time to introduce ourselves. Before I get into that, I did want to tell you right off the bat, please subscribe to our channel. If you are already subscribers, let us know in the comments below what kind of content you guys are looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to see more RV stuff? Do you want to see more location type videos? Do you want to see
action
more
adventure?
Yeah, do you want to see more of our dog? I don't know. We would like some input on how we can make our channel for you and you know, for what you
we like to obviously talk about things we're doing on the road in the RV, campground reviews, those types of topics.
Yeah, we're definitely going to do a lot more on Thousand Trails as well, and whether or not you're interested in that kind of content will be coming.
Yeah, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, just give us your thoughts. So we started our channel back in 2020, and obviously we didn't introduce ourselves. We are full-time RV'ers, and we sold our house, we sold everything, and here we are in 2021.
On the road.
And we've been on the road for about 3 months now. So here's our little intro to who we are.
And who are you?
I'm Chris.
And I'm Ryan.
So Ryan and I have known each other since we were about 5 years old. We've been married for 30 years. We have 2 grown children, one who lives in New York City and one who lives in San Diego.
I still work full-time as a trust officer for a regional bank out of Wisconsin. If you're wondering what a trust officer is or does, essentially I'm a fiduciary for the clients that appoint us, the bank, as their trustee. We help manage their assets, and at the end of life, we help distribute those assets to their beneficiaries or charities. So it's primarily what I do. I'm fortunate that I'm able to work remotely, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, on how all that came about or almost didn't come about.
Yeah, right. It's quite a story. So before we got on the road, I early retired, and I do all of the trip planning, household management, and pursuing. I run 2 YouTube channels now. And
what's the other YouTube channel?
It's Traveling Treasure Finder. That's my personal YouTube channel, along with Good Life Highway. And I like to paint, and I like to beachcomb, and I do those things when he's working on the computer.
I've been in the financial services industry for about 30 years now. And during that time, about 14 years of that time, we actually owned a winery and a vineyard in Leland, Michigan. After our kids went off to college and graduated, we decided to sell it. It was a labor of love. It was a lot of work, but we really, really enjoyed it, and something that we'll never regret.
So you will see on our channel some winery visits and brewery and distillery visits. We do want to do more of that type of content because we really like to support those local businesses, and we love drinking wine and
other
such things. So how did we end up becoming full-time RV'ers? I think it was me that initially started this ball rolling, probably, watching a lot of YouTube channels, the bigger ones like Keep Your Daydream and Less Junk, More Journey, Long, Long Honeymoon. Those people really inspired me to start thinking about what we could do. We've always been RV'ers. We've had travel trailers in the past. It never even occurred to me that you could do it full-time before you retired. It was always sort of in my head to do when we retired. And I just started thinking about, why can't we do this now? Let's see if we can figure out how to do it now. And so I brought it up to you, and then I'm not really sure. It was so long ago. It was almost 3 years ago now.
Yeah, it was 3 years ago. And, there's so much involved in kind of wrapping up things to do this. And so it was a lot of thought. We owned a home. Obviously, we had to sell that. Oh, we didn't have to, but we did. We sold the home.
Yeah. Downsized dramatically.
Yeah, really dramatically. Got a rental, and then we just started, slowly figuring this out. What was this lifestyle going to look like? What was it going to mean? For me, it just took some time to kind of digest. I didn't really ever think about being. He
never said no. No way.
No.
He was very open about the idea. but we at first didn't really know how we were going to put it together.
Yeah. So it took a lot of time and planning. It wasn't a rush decision.
It's a lot of work. If you want to try this type of lifestyle, it's not something to, jump into right away. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of thoughtful consideration. And we're super happy that we were able to make it happen. We'll talk about a little bit how we made it happen, how we almost, as Ryan said, almost didn't make it happen.
I think if I had any hesitation at all, it was really about maintaining health insurance and making sure that we had a job on the road. It was something that we had to keep.
Since we aren't retirement age, we needed to have the income and we needed to have the health insurance, and trying to figure out can we see doctors in other states? And luckily, his provider, our provider, is nationwide,
right.
so we are able to make that happen.
Yeah, but that was certainly a big decision.
Yeah,
a big part of the decision.
So we basically, as we always do, put the cart before the horse. We put the wheels in motion on this plan before we even were sure that he was going to keep his job.
Yeah.
We were almost ready to walk out the door before he even talked to his work about it. So we put our house on the market. It didn't sell right away. We waited a winter, put it back up. It did sell, but we still felt like we needed a year to downsize and really get ready to do this. We didn't have a truck or an RV at that point, so we
rented a little house.
Rented a little house, and we stayed there for a year, and all the while downsizing, doing all of the research that we needed to do to live on the road.
Yeah. So doing a lot of research on the working remotely environment, I put a plan together and went to my boss and basically said, hey, this is what we want to do. And not really what we want to do, this is what we're going to do.
This was about January of 2020, so this was about a year and a few months ago.
And at that time, it wasn't going to work. It was something that they felt needed to be in an office setting, and it just wasn't possible. Even though we had the capabilities to work remotely, with the technology to work remotely, it just wasn't something they could get their hands around. So at that point, it wasn't going to work, and I basically said, "Well, we're going," and it was difficult because here we were going to set out and do this.
Pretty much ready to go.
It was basically, okay, how are we going to make this transition?
So I feel like people are probably wondering, why would you sell your house and get all ready to go on the road before, if the job was the most important thing? Why would you do all those steps before you secured the job remotely?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's not the most important thing. I can do what I do for anybody anywhere.
So that job was like you felt you could get a different job if you needed to.
If I needed to, if it wasn't going to be supported by the bank. But I also wanted to make sure that I had every question that they could possibly think of answered ahead of time. So it took a lot of time. I wanted to make sure there was no objections I couldn't address. I have great respect for my coworkers and my boss, and I certainly...
He loves his job.
I do love my job. Love the company I work for, and it was, again, a difficult decision, but it was something that we were going to acquiesce on. It was, we're moving forward.
And I sort of feel like if you put things into place before, like it's kind of like having the book cover designed before you write the book. I just wanted these pieces in place, and we're bringing this momentum forward, and it's going to happen no matter what. We never told ourselves it isn't going to happen. We never said we're just going to back down if you can't do anything. We may have to delay our plans a little bit based on having an income, but we weren't going to put them on hold. But then March of 2020 hit, and so did the COVID pandemic. In March, the pandemic was kind of starting, and we didn't really know how that was going to affect anything at that point. We thought it was going to be 2 weeks, and we're just going to paint and play games and watch videos for 2 weeks, and then everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Everything will be fine. And obviously that didn't happen. And we by no means want to take COVID lightly, because we know as does everyone.
How devastating.
Yeah, how devastating the pandemic has been to everyone. But I do have to say, for us, it was a catalyst. It was a catalyst in a direction that we would have never expected. And I will let Ryan talk about what that catalyst was, what happened.
Well, lo and behold, you can work remotely. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know, we had the technology again. The bank in the fall of the previous year had outfitted us with laptops and soft phones and all the things that we could do to work remotely. And suddenly, the entire corporation was thrust into a remote environment, just like everybody else. So we were working from our homes, continue to work from our homes. We're still not back to work. Still working
a year
remotely.
later,
Yeah.
still working remotely. We were going to leave in May, and with COVID happening, we just didn't know if that was we just looked at each other and said, we can't do this right now. We cannot leave. We don't know. At that point, parks were closing, and we didn't
States were closing.
Yeah, we didn't want to start this whole new lifestyle and not know what to expect, not be able to get a campground. So we decided, instead of leaving in May, we would leave in September.
Right.
Just give it a few months, because certainly by September, the pandemic would probably be over as well. We were wrong there, but then something happened in September.
Yeah, I've had a bad shoulder for a number of years, and finally made the decision to have it replaced. So September 23rd, 2020, I had my shoulder replaced, which was a great thing to do.
Yes, it was. It was much. He had put it off too long.
Right.
And
yeah, we knew.
did it.
We knew we were going to be hanging out for a little bit. And once I got the all clear from my doctor, December 19th is when we pulled up stakes and hit the road.
Yeah, and actually what was kind of funny is that we took our RV down to Mississippi before his surgery, because we live in Wisconsin, and if we had waited until December, there was a strong chance that we wouldn't have been able to get out.
Right.
With the snow and with ice. Our landing gear can freeze right to the dirt. We didn't have a indoor storage at that point. And we also didn't want to winterize it. So right before his surgery, we made a beeline down to Mississippi, dropped our rig down there to get some repairs done, back up to Wisconsin. And then literally the day after he was given the approval from his surgeon that we could leave, we drove back down. So closed the apartment up. We still have the apartment, and we're going to be getting rid of that this May,
Right.
in a couple of months. And so we'll be fully homeless, or fully nomads by then. Currently, if you're not sure when you're going to be watching this video, but right now it's March of 2021. We've been on the road for about 3 months, and everything's been going everything hasn't been going great. And if you haven't seen our first couple weeks on the road video, I'll link it here.
We had a couple challenges.
And we continue to have challenges, but that's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah.
So it makes it fun.
If it ain't broke,
it ain't RVing, right? So that's kind of our story. If you have any questions for us, please leave them in the comments below. It's a pretty common story, I think, with a lot of people have taken to the road, but we had this in plan. A lot of people were thrown onto the road this year, but we have had this in the works.
Yep,
for
we have.
Several months.
And the other thing,
years.
I think our next video we're going to talk a little bit more specific about what I do. We actually put together some plans for our kids, dealing things, financially and our personal details.
If anything happened
on the road.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a pretty detailed video talking about that.
It'll be really helpful.
Yeah, get your affairs in order, and make sure that in case something happens, your loved ones know what to do and where to go to do things.
Yeah, so that video will be
quite
coming.
Honestly, we've moved so much in the last couple of years. Our kids
they
don't
didn't
really
even know where we
live.
lived.
So it's something that we're looking forward to doing and sharing with you soon.
Yes. So as I said at the beginning, if you like this video, please subscribe.
Give us a thumbs up.
And hit the notification bell so you know when we post more content. And again, let us know what kind of content you're interested in, because we are here to serve. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you down the road. Just
to start.
it out and I got hair in my mouth. Before I get into that, let us know in the content. We just would love some input on how we can make our more okay.
I still work full time. I'm a trust officer. I still work full time, and I'm a trust officer. I can't say that.
It's really sticking to me.
And since our kids went off to after,
We'll see some winery visits and brewery visits.
yeah, we still like to drink wine.
Yeah, sorry, I have to start that
Okay.
over. So we
Well,
want you to talk to your work.
because I'm really a planner around that. Try to advance, answer questions.
Just start over with that. I kind of put you on the spot with
Right.
your answering. So.
That's right.
All right, let's start over.